We I don't know why I've been having so much trouble with these spaces lately. Let's see here. Just a second, everybody. This is frustrating. Now, fully got the threadcast, Zoom's recording and live, and X Space is live. All right, I think we're good. Um, yeah, sorry for the delay, everybody. I had another call with the team to wrap up, and then streams have just been not cooperating lately. But yeah, I think we're all good now. Eric, can I get a? Oh wait,
Are
one second.
you ready to rumble?
I'm getting major echoes now. Okay, one more audio check, Eric.
Test.
Cool. All right, we're good. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the growth call. We didn't have it last week. But we are back this week, and we've got a lot to talk about. I named the space, and also, by the way, I just realized. Hold on. All right, Eric. While I get this going, Eric, do you want to run us through the growth, the MAUs figures, etc. Because something's wrong with the YouTube stream. But if you just want to run us through the numbers while I get that fixed.
Yes, definitely. So October is our best month ever by a lot. So, well, not a lot because August, around this time of the month, we had 1,267 users, and right now we're a little bit below 1,300. So August has had already been our best month by far, and October is trumping that one. So doing pretty good. And in the area of threads, that's where we're actually doing very, very well. We are almost at 900 users, whereas the average of that of the previous months is 750. And that's just because we've had 1 month in February pretty good, but in general, the average is around 720, 730. So we're doing good on both of those areas. And you know, the bullish thing about this is that threads had been our I don't want to say weakest metric, but had been the area with more opportunity to grow and to recover some of the growth we had last year. So threads is picking up. And in terms of content creators, we are still very, very good. Almost 900 content creators compared to the to the month high in August of 920. So we're pretty much in line. No real growth, but no real retracement. And the cool part is that threads in total is actually holding up. So this means that the people that are coming to Thread and to use the platform, they are sticking in, they are coming back. There's actually what's the word? Continuity. So we're doing pretty good on that side. I realized that I haven't published a chart with the updated metrics, so I might as well do it right now. Let me just get the data, and I'll publish something on the Threadcast. And for those who don't know, we do have a Threadcast where you can, well, people can actually earn crypto by interacting with the speakers and with the topics of the space. So all you have to do is go to the Jumbotron. I'm actually pinning it right now. So you can go and interact with us, ask us questions, and you will receive some votes, which is pretty much like Facebook like or like an X like. And we'll allocate some crypto to you free of charge. There we go. And okay, taking the comment, and I'm gonna work on the charts while you the topic of this marketing call is actually pretty interesting, because if you followed us on the AMA a couple of days ago, you must have heard about an integration that we have in the very near future. So Carl, do you want to let people know what this is all about?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you last week, on Friday, I was on the Dash podcast. So I know some of you were there for that. And then, on the AMA, we talked a little bit more in depth about it from our perspective and from a technical perspective. So where we've gotten, we've spent a lot of time over the years, refining the technology of INLEO, and getting ourselves to where we're at today, both from a front end and back end perspective. So, the technical hurdles to get here have been rather difficult. But all of this time that we've spent really refining both front end and back end and creating a user experience that flows well, that is rewarding, and interesting to the end user, that has been really critical. And it's a critical first step to actually onboarding, hundreds of thousands of users, as we kind of mature and move forward. A key piece of getting those users is going to be working with other ecosystems in the crypto space. So, while I do think that we can onboard people who have nothing to do with crypto, especially because of the X and Google Lite accounts, we're offering the ability for them to use INLEO as a social media platform without the need for any keys or key management of any kind. So, you know, the easiest way to onboard people, in my opinion, or the quickest path to hundreds of thousands of users, is to get people who are already in the crypto industry, people who already understand wallets and tokenization and putting stuff on the blockchain. While we do want a mix of different users, because that brings perspective and engagement to the platform in a really positive direction, going after other ecosystems is going to be our kind of critical path forward in the near term. So, I was on the Dash podcast, and many of you know that, I met Joel, one of the Dash team members, in Croatia, at HiveFest. And we were talking, and I was showing him INLEO, and he was really excited by it because he's been looking for ways for Dash to work with the Hive ecosystem. But, one major thing he said he was waiting on was, a platform that brought, a high quality user experience, and something that he was both proud and found that, he could easily onboard his user base from Dash with. So I was showing him INLEO, and I was showing him some of the stuff that was coming, including creator subscriptions, and he found that stuff really cool. And we just kind of hit it off, and then we chatted since HiveFest.
a few times. And then, I was on the Dash podcast. Right before that Dash podcast, we had a private call and we were talking about the Dash integrations and what INLEO can offer to Dash and what Dash can offer to INLEO. And we found a lot of synergies, both in the way that we think about this industry, in the way that we want to move forward, being able to market together, and ultimately grow together. Because what I kind of took away was, Dash has this really good brand recognition. Pretty much everybody in the crypto space knows Dash at some level. They also have a large user base, but what they don't have is what Joel told me that's missing in the Dash ecosystem is a way to earn Dash. That's kind of like, and we were talking about what makes a good economy here. And what one thing that makes a good economy is the ability to earn whatever you're spending. So Dash has focused very intensely on how to spend Dash. So like how to go to stores, etc., and how to spend your Dash easily. What INLEO has worked on is how to earn crypto in the form of Leo, Hive, and HBD very easily. So we've got obviously the tokenized rewards pool. And then we've got creator subscriptions and we've got INLEO Premium. So what we've done is create an economy that's very easy to earn crypto, and they've created an economy that's very easy to spend crypto. And we kind of need to merge those two things. And if we do so, we can have a lot of prosperity for both ecosystems. By bringing together what each of us is really good at. So they're really good at spending crypto. We're really good at earning crypto. And if we can merge those two things, and give them a platform that's both fun, easy to use, and enjoyable to use, then I think that we'll succeed in a really big way. So I've mentioned it and I won't go too much into the technicals of it because that's kind of for the AMAs, but the integration will make it so that Dash people who come to INLEO will look at INLEO as if it was created for Dash. So they'll log in with their Dash wallet. They'll see rewards in Dash. So like you guys see the dollar sign, next to your payouts, instead of the dollar sign, that would be Dash. So they would see Dash. When they get paid out, they would get automatically paid out in Dash. And when they want to buy premium on INLEO or they want to subscribe to another creator, they would pay for that in Dash. So to them, it's like they're using INLEO, but it's all Dash based. But on the back end, what we're doing is we're converting Dash to Leo, and vice versa, using Leo DEX's rails. So, front end perspective, and this has been a common theme for us, make it really simple, one click. You don't have to think about it too much, but the back end is where the complexity happens. And all of this stuff gets moved around and converted properly. So, I think delivering on this is going to bring us, tens of thousands of monthly active users just from the Dash ecosystem. They have a large user base already and they have a lot of brand recognition. But then what we were talking about in the future is launching ads and doing co-marketing where, we co-market that, you can come to inleo.io and sign up and earn Dash. So they want to do a marketing campaign like that, which I think would work really well because we benefit because we onboard the user. They benefit because the user gets a Dash wallet. So they're signing people up to a Dash wallet and then telling them to go to INLEO. And then they're earning Dash and then they're able to spend that Dash. So I think that this integration will be a really huge way for us to grow the user base, in kind of a mass way, kind of like the lead domino, to bring in a lot of new users.
Yeah, and in the end, I mentioned this to you, and you completely understand it. But the thing is that if a project is going to adopt another project, no matter the size, no matter anything else, what they want is for their users to think or to perceive that the adopted project or the adopted partner is actually some sort of like it has some involvement with the project. So in this case, if Dash is going to adopt INLEO as their go-to platform for social engagement and social interactions, and maybe even crypto rewards, etc. The fact that we are catering to Dash and making the interface feel like it's a Dash platform through a partnership with INLEO is the key to everything. So a few times when I reached out to projects, they were like, "Oh yeah, but we have our own blog, so we prefer to just publish there instead of going to another platform," because that's the nature of trying to build your own brand. So this move of actually changing the skins and the look and feel of INLEO, so it remains INLEO, but it feels like you are in the Dash ecosystem, is what's going to change everything.
Yeah, I think the key to success with this, like you said, is making Dash people feel that they're using a Dash product, even though on the back end it's all still INLEO. Like it's basically just a reskinned INLEO. So you can think of it like how when you guys go to your settings, you can change the theme. And if you're premium, you obviously have more options. You have more optionality to change the theme. Um, so, the key here is, can we make it so that when a Dash person comes to INLEO, they see a version of INLEO that is essentially like, wow, this looks like it was built for Dash. And I'm signing in with Dash. I'm spending Dash. I'm earning Dash. And when I cash out, it's cashed out in Dash to my Dash wallet. I think that's really critical to making this successful. And it's again, like I started this whole talk with, we've spent the last 5 years building all of this technology, and a lot of what we've built is kind of like, or a lot of what we're able to do going forward is like a culmination of everything we've built. So like we wouldn't be able to do the Leo Hive HBD to Dash cash outs without LeoDex's rails in place. So we built LeoDex. It seemed like a side quest, but in reality, having that in place is what allows us to make this happen. And then and similarly for premium and creator subscriptions, like without, first of all, launching those features, and then second of all, having LeoDex's rails in the back end, we also wouldn't be able to accept Dash as a payment for those things. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be really a successful integration. But at the end of the day, like, this integration was only possible because of all the extra technology that we have that other platforms just simply don't have. So we've done a good job building like a vertical tech stack that can give us the flexibility to make these things possible. Ahmad Manga said, if it's a version of INLEO that's Dash themed, will it have its own subdomain? No, it won't. So like I said, it's like changing the theme in your, like, you guys can all go to your settings page right now and change the theme of INLEO. And right now it basically changes the colors of INLEO. What we're doing is we're essentially adding another theme that is like the Dash theme. But it does more than just visually change the UI. It first of all visually changes the UI, but then secondly, all the payout displays switch to Dash. So instead of dollars, they show Dash. And then in your wallet, there will be a Dash wallet, and that will be the default wallet if you're on this theme. And then your rewards, you'll be able to check a box that says you want to auto claim your rewards to Dash. So then it will automatically convert all your rewards into Dash. And then when you want to subscribe to premium or pay for a creator sub, you'll be able to do so by clicking and paying in Dash. And the UI, there will be a setting where you can choose this if you want to choose it. But when you do a light account, when you sign up to INLEO using the Dash wallet, it will automatically choose this theme. So basically, when a user comes in from Dash, they'll sign up and log in with the Dash wallet, and then they'll have a Hive Light account through us, and then they'll immediately have this Dash theme pack kind of activated, and that will make it feel like they're just using a Dash product. But on the back end, it's obviously still, it's literally nothing's changed. All the threads are the same. Everything's the same. It's just that the look of it is different. And then the back end of where your payments are going is all different as well. But other than that, everything's, all the data is still on Hive. Nothing's changing structurally for threads or anything else. So I think that, what we're doing is, and I talked to Joel about this too. That is all possible right now. Like you can, if you're a Dash user, you could come to INLEO right now, start making threads, start making blog posts, start earning Leo, HBD, and Hive, and then you can manually go to Leo Dex, and then you can convert that Leo, HBD, Hive into your Dash wallet with a few clicks using Leo Dex. What we're doing with this is we are just taking that manual complexity and automating all of it for the end user so that they just come to the platform and they start using the platform. And then on the back end, we're doing all that manual stuff. But right now, it's all already possible. We've already built all this technology. So what we're doing now is literally just taking that complexity off the user's hands and putting it into the back end.
Yeah, and in the end, you know, one of the so when you are, for example, when you are using cross-chain swaps and you're using a platform that has nothing to do with cross-chain swaps, but they have something else, but they want to provide these swaps to their users, they just announce, hey, we just partnered with Maya and we're going to use their rails to allow people to do cross-chain swaps through our interface. And that's pretty much it. You know, there's no hurdle and there's no issue from the project to say, yeah, we are partnered and we're using their technology for this, because in the end it provides value to their users, and that's exactly what we would be doing with Dash right now.
Yeah, it's Taskmaster said that's why development is crucial, even though it seems like something had no or little impact at the time. It's part of the feeder system. When more is added to the platform, that creates value for other areas. This is digital platform business model 101. Yeah, and if you go to the docs and you look at the vision of INLEO, or I put up that blog post a few months ago, and I said, I talked about the vision of INLEO. What is what is at the core of that is we're building a platform and refining an experience for the users, so for the community. We're growing our user base by offering more adjacent tooling, and then we're monetizing our user base by creating that adjacent tooling that creates revenue models. So at the end of the day, like when we have a core product and we have a vision, and then we're just building stuff around it that supports that vision. Really reading the feedback, reading this user base and seeing what you guys are looking for, and then building stuff in that direction. So, that's like the vision of INLEO fulfilled is finding those adjacent products that make sense, building them, and having the whole ecosystem that we've built cooperate with itself. Salome said, the old school Hive people will hate this. LOL. I already love it. Yeah, I mean, it's something I've thought about, that there are going to be some Hive people that don't like this. Generally, those people though are the ones that are holding on to whatever shred of power they have. So it's the people that dislike change that won't like this, because it brings in new users, and it grows the middle class. Like a lot of people have taught, and I think Taskmaster was the one who used to make these blog posts. Like the middle class on Hive was always growing, and that's a really good thing. Like you want to see that spread out. There are some people that don't want to see that, so those people are not of my concern though. I think the positive people on Hive want to see Hive grow, and those are the people that I'd like to cater to. Task said, just think about this. The Dash team has the ability to train Leo AI so that there's a chat bot that will be out there that has a lot of material and content on Dash. It's likely the context will be much larger than the LLMs. Yeah, I mean, like building everything into the vertical stack where everything feeds itself, right? So, we're already working on Leo AI, and it's trained on all the data that's put on, inleo.io. So when the Dash community comes in and they start posting about Dash, suddenly they're in real time, they're training an AI on Dash. That's another way that we can market it to their community, is we can say, join INLEO and start training your own personal Dash AI. So yeah, again, Leo AI also feeds that. And maybe a lot of Dash people actually, this is a good point that I hadn't really thought about, is, a big thing I talked to Joel about is that he is like, I think it was like 6 years ago or so, he unbanked himself. So he got rid of all his bank accounts, and now he fully lives on crypto. One thing he's talked about is like there's a lot of people he knows that want to do Substacks, but they can't do it because Substack requires like KYC and the ability to have a bank account for payouts. Creator subscriptions, when we were talking about it, that's why I was saying creator subscriptions is such a huge market potential, because there are a lot of people in crypto that would like to monetize their content, have a subscriber base, but also don't want a bank account and KYC, or can't even do it. So there's some people that choose not to have it, and there's some people that literally cannot have it because of where they live in the world. So this is a good point that Task brings up about Leo AI is there's potentially people out there in the Dash ecosystem and in other ecosystems that want to use something like ChatGPT, but also can't pay for it because they don't want to use a bank account or a credit card to pay for it. So Leo AI has all the features of ChatGPT, but it's also locally trained on INLEO, and you can pay for it with crypto. So, to use Leo AI, it requires that you're INLEO Premium, and you'll be able to pay for premium using all these different cryptocurrencies, like Dash. HBD is obviously the only option right now. But when we do this Dash integration, I haven't really talked about this yet. When we do the Dash integration, we're actually using the LeoDex rails, which means that we can make it so that any crypto on LeoDex can be used to pay for INLEO Premium or creator subscriptions. So you'll be able to use like Bitcoin, native Bitcoin, or you'll be able to use Ethereum or USDC Arbitrum, or Cacao. Like you'll be able to use any of these other currencies, or Rune. Like you can use any of those other cryptos. And what we're doing is we're immediately converting. So like, for example, just take INLEO Premium. Let's say that you want to buy INLEO Premium. It's $10 a month, right? So you would go to INLEO, you would select which crypto you want to pay in, and then you'd be able to choose like USDC Arbitrum, for example. 10 USDC Arbitrum gets sent to LeoDex, converted into Leo, and then converts the Leo into Hive, and then the Hive into HBD, and then it sends it to the Leo pool account, and then it activates your premium. But this all happens automatically for you. Like you click one button to send your USDC Arbitrum, confirm it on Arbitrum, and then you're done. And then within like a few minutes, your premium's activated. So I think this is all like, again, building this for one is building it for all. Like it's, the development kind of leads into the other integrations.
And this is
Here in
something.
Libya, PayPal is not supported. Some people have made workarounds to get a PayPal account, but you can't expect 99% of us to have one. Yeah, so just imagine that everyone there in Libya who can't pay for things with a PayPal account or a bank account or whatever, can now use crypto for many of these things, like getting access to AI, or creator subscriptions, whether they want to launch their own or pay for somebody else's.
Yeah, one of the things that we mentioned, like probably like 6 months ago, we were having a conversation.
Oh, Eric, I think you're muted.
Yeah, I have no idea why. I thought I wasn't muted. So one of the things that we were discussing a while ago, probably like 6 months ago, was how INLEO could have our own platform and at the same time offer services for hivers to use to leverage into growing their user base, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that this is just coming to fruition right now because of exactly that, because of that kind of shift that we want to have about building products and at the same time providing value to other ecosystems. So yeah, it's just to give force to what you were saying about how they can leverage what we're building as a service.
Vic Van said, if Dash gets integrated with INLEO, what is it going to bring in INLEO MAU? I guess what kind of value is it going to bring to INLEO MAUs, Leo's value and worth? And Ahmad Maga replied and said probably a lot of users. So yeah, at the end of the day, like if you break it down to fundamentals, doing this integration is going to bring a lot of new monthly active users to INLEO. And what we've done is create all these different revenue models. And these revenue models capture value from the size of our user base. So the bigger our user base, the bigger the value capture, and all that value capture buys the Leo token. So when you guys subscribe to INLEO Premium, that's $10 a month that buys Leo. When you guys subscribe to a creator subscription, so let's say you subscribe to Taskmaster's creator subscription, you're paying $5 a month to Taskmaster. And then the platform takes a small 5% fee on that. And that 5% buys Leo. It buys back Leo, and then the 95% goes to Task. And then we've also got Leo ads launching before the end of the year, or relaunching after we get the native platform built. So, these are kind of three key, in my opinion, these are like the three core ways that we monetize the platform. Obviously, Leo AI is wrapped in and bundled in with premium. But the three core ways that we're monetizing the user base are premium, creator subs, and Leo ads. So if you think about it, premium just offers like a superior experience on the UI. So if you're a heavy user of the interface, it just makes sense to be premium. And we've bundled so many features into it that the value proposition is a no-brainer. And then creator subs allows creators to get paid more. And then it also gives users a way to get access to those creators. And then it also pays the platform via the fees. So it kind of so premium kind of gives a recurring revenue model to INLEO. Creator subs creates a marketplace on INLEO where INLEO benefits from having a marketplace, and the more users, obviously, the more creator subs that will be out there. And then Leo ads monetizes the attention of the user base. So that's kind of how I've thought of these kind of three key things, and how I've been focused on generating revenue for the platform, is like three key areas. Like one, make a premium product that creates recurring revenue. You two, create a marketplace for creators, which is creator subscriptions. And you three, you monetize all of the clicks and attention on the UI, and that's through Leo ads. And through those three things, by having them in place, just simply growing the user base is going to drive value into the Leo token. And the cool thing about crypto is that as a token grows in terms of value and price action is positive, you start to also onboard users, because people get excited about, like in crypto, people just get really excited about number go up, and you'll never be able to avoid that. It's just a part of the world that we live in. That being said, driving revenue into the platform is the way that you make that happen sustainably. Like you can just like pump and dump tokens all day long, and there's plenty of platforms that do that. But what I've been really focused on is how do we create sustainable revenue that drives the token price up over long periods of time. And then by doing that, you're then creating that flywheel effect that we always talk about, where the price of Leo is going up, and that drives in more users, and more users create more revenue, which then drives the token price up even more, and it just keeps spinning its flywheel. So that's something that I've been very critically focused on, and I think that to answer Vic Van's question, that is the true value of this Dash integration, is that we are bringing in a lot of monthly active users to get that initial momentum that we've been waiting for this flywheel to really take effect.
Walter J, just realized I don't see my check mark anymore on my phone. Is it due to the sub update? I don't think. Maybe let's check your last subscription. I don't know. We'll look into it. Oh, wow, you have a lot of transactions.
Ben Hass said, make it just convenient as dang possible. Yeah. It's like I said, we're taking all of this stuff that we're explaining right now. Like, this is not rocket science. Like, it is doable right now. If you're listening to this and you've got, a Dash wallet, you can come to INLEO. Obviously, you can't sign in with your Dash wallet yet, but you can sign up for an account using X, Google, or just go straight for a Hive account using our UI. And you can start earning Leo Hive HBD, and then you can manually do everything I just described. But what we're doing with this integration is we're actually just taking all of this stuff that already exists and just taking all the complexity and putting it on the back end and automating it. So yeah, convenience is really what we're going for here. Beehiver said, what would the benefit of a Hive user to switch to the Dash team or vice versa? I don't think there would be a huge benefit. Obviously, like if you're a Hive user, you're already familiar with the platform and the experience, and you probably enjoy earning in Hive, HBD, and Leo. So this is definitely targeted towards Dash users. And for Dash users to switch to like switch off of the Dash theme, I also don't think that really caters to their needs. Like you need to define the audience and cater to that audience, and that's what we're doing here. This is an audience that wants to see Dash, they want to earn in Dash, and they want to spend Dash. So we want to cater to those things and not really worry about the other parts, in my opinion. Salmi said, what's the approximate timeline on the Dash integration? So I talked about this a little bit in the AMA, and we can talk more next AMA, but right now we're actually rewriting the entire Threads API and backend, actually, and technically the front end too, but it's not like a visual change. It's a very like backend efficiency and scalability update. Actually, primarily because I think the Dash integration is going to bring in so many users that we're going to need that. Like me and the devs have known that we're going to need this at some point. But we were just kind of saving it for later because it wasn't an immediate issue. But I actually think that this Dash integration is going to bring in so many users that we're going to need to have Threads v2 in place. So Threads v2 is the focus right now. In addition, finding bugs and fixing them. So another PSA, if you find anything or you have any suggestions or any feedback, please post threads and use hashtag feedback. I need as much feedback as possible because for the next week and a half, we're going to be just focused on building Threads v2, testing it and then launching it, and then also fixing any bugs that I find in feedback. So finding all the feedback now and putting it out there is really important, especially before we get an influx of new users. I don't want them to come into a buggy platform. So keep the feedback coming and keep the feedback loop open. So once we do Threads v2, then we will move on to the Dash integrations. My goal is to have the Dash integrations live in labs by the end of this month, and then push it to production shortly after that. We'll test it as intricately as we can, and then just try to push it out there as quickly as possible. Big fans. So ideally, we're going to have more users from INLEO, meaning more Threads premium subscribers and articles published using INLEO. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I said, we've put in these revenue models that capture value from a growing user base. So growing the user base means generating more revenue, and generating more revenue, 100% of the revenue buys back the Leo token. So yeah, any new premium, like imagine that we onboard, let's just say 10,000 Dash users, and let's say that 500 of those Dash users subscribe to INLEO Premium. 500 out of 10,000 is not a huge capture rate. That would be $5,000 a month in revenue buying back the Leo token. So obviously very huge. That's more than a 2x of the current premium size. So in terms of total premium subscribers. So yeah, growing the user base is simply the best way to grow the token. Wananda, if you posted it and used hashtag feedback, then I'll definitely see it. So yeah, as long as you use that hashtag, I see all of that stuff. It's my #1 bookmark.
Taskmaster, some bugs looks like this, and he uploaded a GIF of a of a NAND. I forgot the word. A NAND home. I have no idea how it's called.
Ant house.
Yeah. And yeah, just like you said, the the value of INLEO, well, one of the value generators for INLEO is to have users. And in the end, these users will become premium users, or will become LeoDex users, or will become delegators, whatever. And even if even if we bring 1,000 users and none of them become investors of Leo and Hive, just by having them with us, generating interactions, creating engagement, bringing traffic to the platform, that's a win. So not everything, and just to add to the response that you gave to Big Ban, not all value brings in monetary value, but in the end, everything adds value to the overall vision of INLEO. So more users is always much, much welcome.
I agree.
To people that onboard through Dash, so Big Ben is asking, to people that onboard through Dash, will they still, lost the question, will they still have automatic resource credits to their account? Yes, that's actually something that we're working, that we're offering.
It's already, so that's
users.
already something that's live. So if you sign up for a light account on INLEO, there's a dynamic resource credit pool. So that's something that we built and launched and haven't even really talked about. I'll need to put up a blog post at some point, but we launched that, I think, like 2 months ago now, where when you sign up for a light account, you get resource credits automatically delegated to you, and we actually monitor your resource credit level. And if it starts to drop beneath a certain level, then we automatically increase your delegation, and then it expires. If you're inactive for 30 days, then we pull back the resource credit delegation, and we just leave you with enough to make a thread. So that if you do come back to the platform, after being inactive, you can still interact, and then we'll start to re-delegate to you if you become active again. So it's a dynamic resource credit delegation pool. So it's already live for X and Google Lite accounts. And then when Dash goes live, it'll obviously already be there. So again, we've built a lot of this technology and put it in place, and we've just led up to this point. Tass said 500 new premium users with a Leo chatbot is nothing. With Leo AI in place, I mean, that just brings the growth that ChatGPT has brought to OpenAI is a very similar thing that we'll likely see with Leo AI, where the $10 a month giving you access to AI is very, very much worth the trade-off. And I think one thing that we have going for us is that we have all the other features as well. So all the added stuff when it comes to Leo Premium. Again, just bundling, kind of like the Amazon Prime model, is what I tend to go for, is bundling as much value into the subscription as possible, and then it just makes it a no-brainer. Beehiver said RC delegations will go to the moon when Dash onboards the masses. Great derived use case for Hive. Yeah, I've been a long time believer that the real value proposition and long-term value capture for the Hive token is resource credits. You really just need one successful application at the end of the day, onboarding like 100,000 or 1 million users. And that application is going to need to buy ridiculous amounts of Hive power in order to have enough resource credits for their user base. You look at platforms like Ethereum and Solana. Yesterday we did Chain Chatter, and we had someone on who is Joe from Super S Solana, and he was talking to us about Solana and the value proposition of it, and how it captures value. And he said it's very simple. It's gas fees. And you look at all these EVMs, like Ethereum, and others, that's how they all generate value, is from gas fees. Hive obviously doesn't have traditional gas fees. What it has is a rechargeable gas tank, which is how I like to describe it to people from the outside. And in order to have that rechargeable gas tank and make it larger, you have to buy more Hive power. So if you have heavy data input and output on the Hive blockchain, you need to have a lot of those resource credits. And in order to have a lot of those resource credits and that rechargeable gas tank, you need to buy Hive power and stake. You need to buy Hive and stake it into Hive power. So if a platform like INLEO gets 100,000 monthly active users, we're going to need significantly more Hive power than we currently have today. So we're going to have to continue to buy more Hive and stake it in order to have the resource credits available for our user base. Because we know that in order to grow our user base, they're not going to be buying Hive and staking it individually. I think that that has been a critical point missed by a lot of people when it comes to marketing and growing Hive and the Hive asset. Is they think the average user they think the growth is going to come from the average user buying 50 Hive and staking it. I've known for a very long time that that's not how it's going to work. The average user is not going to buy any Hive and stake it. The average user is going to come to a platform like INLEO or like Splinterlands, and they're going to want to play the game or use the platform. And then us as the platform, as the business, is going to have enough Hive power to delegate them resource credits in a dynamic way so that they can use the platform as much as they want without running out. So in reality, Hive as an asset is going to flow to business owners and projects. That's always been my opinion. And I think that Hive can grow in a very significant way if enough applications come in that generate that much usage. So I've been on this soapbox for a very long time. Really since I got to this blockchain, it's been like almost a decade now. And I've realized that the only way to really prove that I'm right in this is to make INLEO extremely successful, where to the point where we need to be buying Hive and staking it. Like we already have a couple million Hive power, so we already have plenty of resource credits for the size of our user base. But if we start onboarding, tens of thousands of people or hundreds of thousands of people, we're going to need to get a lot more Hive power than what we have now. The current amount of Hive, like having like 3 million Hive power right now, is plenty for what we need to do. But if we have 100,000 monthly active users tomorrow, I could see us needing like 10 million plus Hive power in order to service all that usage. And by the way, Eric mentioned this too. As you get more users, those users create more engagements. So you guys can imagine that if you start suddenly getting 30 replies on every thread you make, now you're also replying more often, and it's exponential because now you're replying more often, and those people are then replying back to you. And that's how you create like exponential engagement on the site, is that the more engagement there is, the more engagement there is. So again, I think that more users solves all of our problems. It is the lead domino that creates prosperity. So if we're looking for an abundance of value and usage on the site, we need to see an abundance of new users. Tass said the difference between Hive and other EVMs, their transaction fees come from financial transactions. With Hive, we get transaction fees from social media, gaming, voting, and financial transactions. Yeah, well, Hive really at a fundamental level, all blockchains, when you look at gas, including Hive and EVMs, people are paying to store data on the blockchain. So if it's a financial transaction, they're paying to store data for a financial transaction on Ethereum. They're paying $5 or whatever. On Hive, if you are storing a thread on the blockchain, or you're storing a blog post on the blockchain, or you're storing a transaction on the blockchain, like a financial transaction, or you're playing a Splinterlands game, or you've got a Splinterlands NFT and you're transferring it to another user. All of that stuff, when you boil it down, is storing a transaction on the blockchain, and there's a cost to doing that. Where Hive diverges from the other blockchains out there is that it has a rechargeable gas tank versus other platforms where you just pay a gas fee and you lose that money. So the power in Hive is that storing data here is much more, I want to say it's much more efficient, but to me, it's much more desirable as a business owner to store data on Hive, because I don't need to spend money to store data on Hive. I just need to invest in Hive to store data on Hive. So as a Hive power owner, I'm able to store more and more data. The more Hive power I have, the more data I can store on this blockchain. And I don't need to keep buying gas in order for my users to come in and store data. So I think that is really the value proposition of Hive and Hive power. And it's not talked about enough. But again, I'm much more of a show people rather than tell people type of person. So we can scream it from the rooftops all day long that storing data on Hive is better if you're a business owner. But at the end of the day, until we have a project that really proves it in the real world, nobody's going to believe us. So that's where I think INLEO can step in and have a positive impact on people's desire to own Hive.
Mad Manga is talking to his family to onboard them to INLEO through his brother and sister, though his brother and sister are very busy. But yeah, moms and dads sometimes have more time in their hands, especially if they are in their 50s or 60s, but will be more willing if it had an Arabic interface users. You know, the thing is, yes, we do have website translation in the funnel, but it's right now it's not a priority, not because we think it's not important, but there's still so many features and so many things that we want done before going the language route that it just has to wait a little bit. And Manu is asking, when can we see some INLEO ads on X, for example? It's one of the easiest ways to get new users besides paying influencers. Do you want to take that, Cal, or should I?
Which it was from a mod manga.
No, from Manu. When can we see some INLEO ads on X?
INLEO ads on X. I don't know that X, we have actually done ads on X. We've played around with it. And you're saying that it's one of the easiest ways to get new users besides paying influencers. We've run ad campaigns and tested it. And we haven't found that really to be the case. We've also found that X likes to take our ads down because obviously we're technically a competing platform to them. So, advertising on X has proved to not be extremely useful or valuable. I think a better place for us to advertise, and again, to tie this into the Dash stuff, I was talking to Joel about it. They're launching Brave ads and doing a Brave ad campaign. And I think that Brave is actually probably a much better place for us to advertise than X. So, I think it's much more likely that we'll advertise on Brave. And, with the Dash integration upcoming, one thing that Joel and I were talking about was doing a co-marketing campaign using Brave ads, where it's sign up to INLEO and earn Dash. And then we'll like split the cost of it, for example. I think that's most likely the next path forward in terms of paid advertising, at least.
Yeah, I mean, there are many other options as well, like doing Telegram advertisement on bots, etc., etc. But like Hal said, it's something that we know, but it's something that we know and that we have done in the past. But right now the focus is a little bit different. Winanda can't hear us on X. I think it's you.
Well, something weird did just happen where everybody disappeared from the X space except for you and me.
Oh, that's weird. I can see everyone. I can still see everyone. Oh, now I don't see anyone. I can only see you.
X spaces have been really shitty lately. Like the last 3 I've done have been really bad. Let's see.
I can still see everyone. Oh, now I don't see anyone.
I can hear
I
you.
don't see you.
Or I can
Yeah,
still
I can
hear us
hear
on
you as
X. Oh, now we're back. Okay. Well, the X space has been very.
We're so back.
We're so back. Yeah, the X spaces have been really shitty. So sorry about that. All right. Well, let's take a couple more questions and then jump off. If you guys are having issues with the X space, we are live on YouTube as well. If you look at the threadcast, we edited in the YouTube link at the top, so you can find the YouTube link there. C-Pole said it's Elon's fault. Yep, he heard us. He heard me say that I didn't want to run X ads, and then he rugged our space right after.
I mean, we're not very far from that happening. AI can already listen to videos and scrap them and see what's going on. Right now on YouTube, if you actually mention the date where you are recording the video or where you are uploading it, then the algorithm pushes it harder because it knows it's something fresh and not just something rehashed from the past or from past content. So
Where did
we're
you
not
see
that far
that
away
it's doing
from.
that? Where'd you read about that?
Well,
I'm
I
just
I
curious.
follow a few. Yeah, I follow a few creators, and I noticed that they were doing that. So I was like, this sounds sus because they were actually not doing it. And then suddenly, like 3 weeks ago or something like that, I started noticing that they started doing it, and they all started at the same time. So I was curious about it. So I Googled it. I don't have the source right now, but if you Google or DuckDuckGo or Brave, Google no, because it's so centralized. But if you just search engine that, people, well, YouTubers mentioning dates on videos, you will get the alpha on that.
Oh, good to know. Probably start mentioning the date. By the way, today is October 17th, 2024. And we are recording the growth call.
Yeah, pretty much that, like they do it like that, like very, very subtle. Like they are talking about something, and yeah, yesterday, Tuesday 21, Pomp said this. So it's just, and then their AI detects there's some dates mentioned, and if it's close, then it thinks it's it's a new video. I imagine
Interesting.
there's gonna be ways to trick it, but yeah, and this is not official. Like this is just theories that I read online, but it makes total sense because right now
Yeah.
AI can already listen to videos and do transcriptions, so it's not that hard.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, let's take a couple more questions if you guys have any. I think we're kind of caught up, but one or two more, and then we can pop out of here.
Oh, and Sunseeker is saying that if you mention other social media on YouTube, the algorithm takes you down. Well, like deboosts you, so it also makes sense.
Interesting. Eric, have we started our the mini initiatives that Idiosyncratic came up with?
I believe so, yes. Let me
Do we have anything we can link to everybody to give them something to do after this?
let me check. Week 2, Battles and Wars, October, LPUD. No, not yet. We haven't published anything because we have 4 posts in the last 3 days. So I reckon you just encouraged maybe wanted to wait a little bit. Yep, no. Covering Leo week 2.
Vic Van, I think Task might have the stats of shorts. I don't have them right in front of me. Beehiver said, will INLEO be added to the Dash ecosystem after the integration is done? That would be awesome. Yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're going to add like a link to INLEO somewhere in their applications, perhaps in their wallet or something, where it'll say like, join INLEO and earn Dash. So yeah, I think there's going to be some cool spots for that, where it'll encourage them to use their Dash wallet to sign up to INLEO, and then from there they can earn Dash. So I think that's going to be a pretty valuable kind of long-term advertisement spot for us. Yeah, thanks, Salome. Thanks for coming. People at Sunseeker said, everyone go to @LeoGrowth and you'll see everything that's going on. Yeah, the at Leo Finance account is really the main announcement account for like new features and new releases. At Leo Growth is where you can find all the initiatives, where you guys can get involved and help us grow the platform. You know, as I mentioned multiple times on this call, really the way, like if you want to see the Leo token grow, and Tass talks about this a lot as well, you know, it takes the ownership mindset. It takes you know, helping us grow the platform in terms of users and engagement. And that's how the token grows. So I think the big difference between like us and Bitcoin, for example, is like you can buy Bitcoin and sit on it, and hope that it goes up, right? And you know, I obviously own a lot of Bitcoin, so I also believe that it's gonna go up. But as someone who owns Bitcoin, there's nothing I can really do to grow Bitcoin, right? But the key difference with INLEO and the Leo token is you can own Leo and you can have a daily impact on the growth of INLEO and the Leo token. So you know, you can buy your bag of Leo and then you can have a daily impact on the positive growth of the Leo token, you know, by being active, by engaging with people on the site, by giving, every time you engage with someone, you're adding value to Leo. Every time you give feedback, you're adding value to Leo. You know, every time you post a short, you're adding value to Leo. Every time you post any thread, you're adding value to Leo. Anytime you post a blog post, you're adding value to Leo. Anytime you share a Leo link on X or other platforms, you're adding value to Leo. So I think one thing that I've loved about Hive since the beginning and why it drew me in at the start was that I felt like I could buy something. I could buy the Hive token, obviously Steam back then, and I could stake it, and then I can have an immediate impact every single day by working hard to build the platform on the price of the token. So I think Leo offers that as well, which is, you know, you can buy Leo, stake it, and then you can have a daily impact on the growth of Leo. And you can be a part of the, you know, positive momentum behind it. So that is my PSA as I leave you guys from the growth call. Eric, any final thoughts?
No, just really excited about what's coming with the Dash integration, and in the end, what Lions have to take into account when all of this happens. This is not the first one. This is just one of many. Of course, this is going to be this is going to be the one that takes us to the next level. But in the end, having features or having services that we can use to grow and cross-pollinate with other platforms, it's good. It's good. And getting rid of the mindset of only Hive, only Hive, only Hive is going to do a lot of good for any project built on our blockchain, because in the end, the blockchain is just the database, and what matters is how the projects built on top of it use it to grow the user base. So thank you very much for all of you who are standing behind us and supporting the team. In the end, the team is just spearheading these initiatives, but it needs all of the community to get behind it and to push them so that they are successful.
100%. Yeah, we need the community to be involved. Sweet. All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks, Eric. Tomorrow, I don't know if Task is doing the Lions Den or not. I know that, you know, he was in the eye of the storm with the hurricane in Florida. So we'll look out for threads from him to see if he's going to do it. So other than that, thanks everybody for coming, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See you guys.
See ya. I don't know if it's ending. It's going to end at some point. It says ending.